Yeah, and there's this push to invest in the heartland. I mean, your company launching a $150 million fund focused on investing in startups away from the coasts in the middle of the country. This is really interesting, especially when you look at the backers, including big names like Eric Schmidt, Jeff Bezos, Meg Whitman, Howard Schultz. Tell us what your thinking is in this The Rise of the Rest fund.
Well, the thinking is, well, there's great innovation in places like Silicon Valley and New York City and Boston. Right now, the vast majority of venture capital goes to those cities. Last year, 75% of venture capital went to just 3 states, California, New York, and Massachusetts. So the other 47 states fight over 25%. Yet there's great entrepreneurs all over the country building great companies. There's not a lot of venture capital attention. So this Rise of the Rest initiative we launched about 4 years ago is now accelerating. As you mentioned, we launched last week this new fund, and we've got about 36 of America's most iconic, respected entrepreneurs and investors and executives and families all joining us, saying they believe in the idea of the Rise of the Rest. They believe they're great entrepreneurs everywhere. They believe they're great investment opportunities everywhere. And our hope is we'll catalyze more focus on these middle-of-the-country startups, and that will result in great breakout successes in those communities. Also, in the process, create a lot of jobs and more hope in those communities. A lot of people wake up in the morning feeling like they're anxious about the future. They're not sure what the role of technology is going to be in their family, in their community. We want to make sure by backing startups everywhere that are creating jobs everywhere that we really change that dynamic.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's like you look around the world, everybody wanted to be the Silicon Valley, right? I mean, even in Russia, they created the Skolkovo project. And yet there are little mini Silicon Valleys, innovation hubs throughout the country. You look at biotech, upstate New York. I mean, there's all of these little hubs everywhere where you actually can tap into real innovation happening, not necessarily just Silicon Valley.
Absolutely. And we've seen that we now visited 33 cities on our Rise of the Rest road trips over the last 3.5 years, 8,000 miles by bus. So we've been to places like Pittsburgh, where a lot of great things happening with robotics because of Carnegie Mellon, Buffalo, some of the biotech things, exactly. Detroit, a lot of things around mobility, New Orleans, a lot of things around ed tech, Louisville and St. Louis around ag tech, farming. We're seeing innovation happening all over the country. We're trying to change the dynamic on with this Rise of the Rest is to make sure that entrepreneurs in those places have access to capital to grow and scale their companies. It was long understood that creativity is broadly dispersed, opportunity is not, and really trying to level the playing field so everybody, everywhere who has an idea really has a shot at the American dream.
You know, some of these companies, though, are more powerful than they ever have been. I mean, when you look at the big five, the FANG companies, right? Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google, they have so much power given all of the data and the information that they have about us all. Do you think the regulatory market changes, the regulatory environment changes for technology, given the fact that this is a completely different industry than just 10 years ago or 5 years ago, Steve?
Yes, I think it's beginning to change. We've started seeing that the last couple of years in the European Union. Brussels kind of backing, starting to slow down some of the things happening with some of big tech. And we're seeing a growing backlash in this country as well. People are proud of what's happened in Silicon Valley, but also a little nervous about some of the implications, and including here in Washington, D.C. There's a lot more focus, obviously, even some congressional committees looking into what was the role of Facebook or other things, even in the election. So technology becomes so much more central in terms of our everyday lives, has such a big impact on our economy. It's not surprising that there's more of a focus on the role of big tech, if you will. And I do think Silicon Valley needs to be careful. In the last decade, as you well know, Wall Street's sort of been the bad guy. I think Silicon Valley is at risk of becoming kind of the new bad guy, where people love some of the products and services that come from Silicon Valley. They are a little nervous about some of the steps that some companies in Silicon Valley are taking.
That's what I was asking, because, in the last 10 years, we saw the financials basically sit on cash. They were unwilling to do anything with their money because they didn't know what regulation was around the corner. Then you had Dodd-Frank. You wonder if that's going to happen to the technology sector. Now they're the big spenders. Will they be the big spenders in the future if they've got congressional oversight that's much tougher than they saw in the past? And then, of course, Steve, there's Bitcoin. So you're obviously a student of this industry for a long time, 25 years, even more. What do you think of Bitcoin, Steve?
Well, I think it's exciting at one level, particularly some of the core technologies around blockchain. But it, again, does feel a little bit like 20 years ago, where there's a phenomenon, a mania almost around .com. Now there's a little bit of a mania, particularly on the trading side around Bitcoin and ICOs, things like that. So I think the core technology of blockchain, the ability to track things, I think is very important. But I think there is a little bit too much speculation right now, and it'll be interesting to see how things settle. I saw even yesterday the SEC stepped in to stop ICO, initial coin offering that was happening. This idea that you can raise capital in an unregulated way, which has happened recently, I don't think that is sustainable. So I think we have to separate what's happening in terms of core technologies like blockchain and what's happening in terms of the speculation around that, whether it be Bitcoin and ICOs. I think that we need to be a little more careful than we've been in recent months around thinking about that.
The Winklevoss brothers yesterday said that this is regulated, but I suspect if this action keeps up with Bitcoin, it's going to be regulated a lot more.
Yeah, I think it's no question. I've talked about in my book, The Third Wave, this next wave of industries and the role of policy regulations playing a deeper role, whether it be financial services or healthcare or some smart cities, important aspects of our lives. There are going to be more regulations. Entrepreneurs hate hearing that, particularly in Silicon Valley, but I think it's going to be true, and we're going to see that with Bitcoin as well. There's no question that regulators, not just in this country, but around the world, are going to make sure they have adequate protections in place to make sure these technologies, these platforms can have a positive impact on the markets, as opposed to kind of have potentially some unintended consequences that could be negative.
Great insight, Steve. We'll be watching the rise of the Rest Fund. Always great to talk with you, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, Maria.
We'll see you soon. Steve Case there. Still